What is this set of metal clasp things? Found in one of many random boxes of random things amongst my grandfather's collection. About 4 to 5 inches long each, possibly handmade, with no markings. It has a tweezer-like pinching action, spring-loaded, that when you pinch the top, the curved pieces open. Any ideas? These are antique oxbow pins, used to secure the bow on an ox yoke. It was patented on July 17, 1849, by Andrew Hotchkiss of Sharon, Connecticut. These were used not only to hold the bow in place, but with the drilled holes in the bow, they were used to adjust the size of the length of the bow. What is this hollow ceramic with a cork on one side and a mouth that is open to the inside? My mom found this at a thrift shop and really liked it, but we cannot figure out its purpose. It can stand, but I feel it may have had some sort of base to lay in. The cork is about the size of a dime, and there is a raised area on the opposite side that looks like a tail. We have done multiple searches, but we can't find anything like it. Any help would be most appreciated. It's a 1980s mouse-shaped Parmesan cheese shaker, made by Marion Schlauch in Wallen, Tennessee. Here's another one on Etsy for £28. It has a cork near the bottom where the cheese would go in. What is this metal object with 2 spring-loaded rollers and 1 blade that seem to be centrifugally operated? The 2 rollers and 1 blade seem to fling out, and there is an adjustable stop at the top that seems to determine how far in or out it can go. The threads are super fine and seem to allow it to move very slowly in or out as it spins. I found it along with a bunch of other tools in an old shipping container that was used as a workshop. Any ideas? It's a cylinder ridge reamer, used to remove any ridge at the top of an engine's cylinders, formed by wear from the piston rings prior to fitting new rings. It was patented on November 13, 1934, by Carl A. Olson for the Lyle Corporation in Clarinda, Iowa. In a high-mileage engine, the rings wear the cylinder slightly bigger, leaving a ridge at the top where the rings do not contact the cylinder walls. This removes the ridge, allowing the piston to be pushed out the top of the cylinder. What is this 3-inch sterling silver cylinder with intricate detail? This came into my possession from an antique store I used to work at. It has a tube and a decorative top, and it appears to hold something. I've Google image searched it, but I can't find any that look remotely similar. I've had this thing for almost 5 years now, and I've never been able to figure it out. Thank you so very much in advance for any and all help with this thing. This is a mezuzah that is missing the rolled up parchment with the Shema prayer from the center. I have one much like this, which also has a cap atop where the scroll goes. It also appears that half of the metalwork backing is missing. Jewish people affix this to the right-hand doorpost of their homes, as well as the entrance to each of the interior rooms, except for bathrooms, as a reminder of their faith and the commandments of God. What is this 5-inch dish with a felt bottom, found at a thrift store in Florida? It looks vintage, it has an oval-shaped indent next to a round indent, and it appears to be some sort of wood composite material. Originally, I was thinking it might be for holding a tea light candle and matches, but I wanted to see if you guys had any other ideas. Thanks. It's a 1950s Syroco wood teacup and saucer display stand, made by Syracuse Ornamental Company Incorporated in Syracuse, New York. A cup would sit on the round area, and a saucer plate would stand behind it, hooked at the bottom with the scroll designs. What is this metal object I found in the forest? It's partly painted yellow, it has a flathead screw on the side, it is 7 centimeters long and feels very dense. The screw part does not unscrew further, the paint is very thick and partially chipped off, and there is a 4mm hole at the end of the rod part. Any ideas? It's a blank firing adapter or blank firing attachment. This finished newspaper photo seems to have the same model. It's a device used in conjunction with blank ammunition for safety reasons, functional reasons, or a combination of both. It seems to be used mainly in military weapons in the European region. What is this large brick structure, found at the edge of a field in South England? It is circular with a locked door on one side, roughly 4 meters tall and 2 meters in diameter. There is writing in a stone above the door, but it is too weathered for me to read. And it is the only building I have seen around the area. A friend told me that when she visited England, their tour guide showed them something that looked very similar to this, and said it was basically a jailhouse they used back then for drunk people to stay in overnight, and then released the following morning. Someone also suggested it's a kids' school bus waiting structure, but there are no houses near it, so I wonder why they would wait there. I would love some clarification if anyone knows about it. I found this Alamy photo, and it says it's an old pump house, which is backed up by this Historic England page. The inscription is apparently Wexcombe Waterworks, the gift of William Corbin Finch, 1899. Upon further research, this does house a couple of taps, but it's clearly far more ornate than it needs to be. On this page, a great-grandson of the estate owner says this: "Just to clarify, the brick structure, which you called a pump house, is in fact just a folly containing 2 taps. It was built by Dr. William Finch, a surgeon from Salisbury, who lived in Wexcombe in the late 1800s, and installed waterworks for the hamlet. During the war, I am led to believe that it was used as a prison for the Italian POWs if they strayed from the straight and narrow." What is this thing donated to a thrift store? About 40 centimeters long, with a wooden handle, a metal bar, and it looks like something clips onto the head. It's fairly light, with no markings or serial numbers on anything. I can't tell what metal it is made of under the paint. Any ideas? It's a stake branding iron. You can compose a couple of words on the 2 rows with small metal letters. Once overheated, you can mark your stake. What is this wooden thing from a thrift store? About 16 inches long, with mounting screw holes on the wooden base and a particle board rotating blade. The hollow drum on the end is stamped July 21st, 1885. The rotating arm hinge moves to cover the hole with a leather piece. Any ideas? Please write what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.